And welcome back to the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. Dave Swift is my guest today. He is the marketing guru, and today's show is about positioning your company. So if you're a business owner, you should be taking notes right now, because everything we're talking about are tools, tips, techniques, systems, and positioning for you in the marketplace. Dave, thanks so much for doing the show again.
A pleasure, Patrick.
So this time I know we wanted to talk a little bit. We mentioned market, but you wanted to go a bit deeper into that market segment.
Yes, I did. A market is, in fact, marketing is all about determining what markets you want to compete in and how you want to allocate your resources amongst those markets in order to best achieve whatever your goals are. So market's a very important thing. And a market is defined as kind of look at it as an isosceles triangle. And at one point you have the location that you're competing in. And it doesn't have to be a physical location. So it can be, I'm going to be competing on the internet. So I'm going to try to get folks on the internet. It can be in a retail account. It can be any number of different things. So are you going to be as specific as you want? It can be, I'm at farmers markets. How am I going to go to market at farmers market? Then the second part of the triangle is the customers. What are the characteristics of the customers in that location that you want to go after? And it may not be everybody. Obviously, if the location was the internet, it wouldn't be everybody. You would want to demographically, psychographically, whatever it happens to be, narrow that down so that you can very definitely define, here are my best prospects.
Well, in fact, in that whole last segment, one of the things that I kept kind of visualizing in my mind is you talked about the different parts of positioning, whether we market, target, segment, all these different things is like hoops. And you had to kind of line up these different like lenses or hoops that to exactly identify the one person out of a batch of people that you want to talk to. Maybe it's 10 people. Okay, there's the one person of those 10, or the one of those 100, or the one of those 1,000. Because the one thing I keep hearing from you is the better that your sites are lined up, the better that you identify that one person, you can speak their language, give a message that gets them to respond. Is that what you're talking about?
You want to be more, I'll use it more, use a rifle rather than a shotgun.
Right.
This is all about using a rifle, and then when you get good with a rifle, you use a laser guided rifle. But you may not be able to get finite depending upon the size of your market, how far you can go in. But yeah, with customers, you want to define it. You want to identify who would be your best customer for what you're selling as best you can, and then that's who you're trying to get to. And that's who now we want to tailor this particular strategy in this market, if that's the customer in this market you want to get to, as best we can. The third thing, though, is unfortunately it's not an open field day. There are competitors out there. So the third part of the triangle in a market is who else is also competing in that market. And that can have a big difference in terms of how you choose to go to market. Again, previous show, we talked about the various laws of marketing, and one is, how do you approach it if you're the leader? How do you approach it if you're not the leader? And that's really what I'm talking about here. Who's out there that you have to compete against? And that can affect how you put together your positioning. So again, it's location, it's competitor, and it's your target demographic or potential customer that we're trying to get to in the marketplace. And let me give you an example. There's a great company called PeopleRight.
Right.
And with PeopleRight, they have two very, very different businesses and compete in two very different markets. One is businesses who want to improve the overall quality level of the employees that they hire for a number of reasons. We can all think of them, but let's assume these are the sales folks. They want to increase their effective sales per salesperson. And PeopleRight's got some fantastic tools from an assessment and evaluation, that after they've had the chance to evaluate your top performers as well as your not so top performers, they can then put together the parameters for what is the kind of individual you want to hire. And then when you're hiring, doing the interviewing in the future, that's what you look for, not other things, not how they used to sell, how great they were at another company. It can be very, very different going from one environment to another. So they are able to do it that way. And as opposed to, they also have a business that provides testing for kids in beginning high school to help them figure out what they should study for in college. So two very different markets and therefore different strategies.
One of the things that's really fun about what they've done is they've really converted everything that they're talking about down to a financial equation.
Correct.
For the kid, it's saving the parent $10,000 or $15,000 for a change of major, and then but then the other thing, taking all that back into this, they've positioned themselves right. They've literally gone after two specific segments, and that's what we're really trying to get here with the Business Spotlight, is giving you tools for positioning your company so that you can literally prosper in everything you do. This is the Business Spotlight. We've got a couple more segments. We'll be right back.
Staying involved in dentistry on every level, local, state, and national, makes me a better dentist. Our patients are our life and our livelihood, and we appreciate every single patient that walks in that door. And these are our family, and we treat them that way.